Hello everybody and welcome back to Edgewater, Saskatchewan. So episode 25 now. 25, and guess what? It's gone. The snow has gone. So we skip through a month as we do beginning of every episode. So we're now in April. The white stuff has vanished, which I am really glad of, if I'm honest with you. It's starting to drive me mad. I hope it just doesn't magically appear and come back again. I think it's gone for good. I'm sure it's gone. So we just need to do some chores, I guess, today. The last episode was pretty much a whole entire episode of harvesting, which was good. It was fun to do something a little bit different. However, this time around now, we just got a few basics to do. We got a lot of water to top up for the various different things, the greenhouses, the pigs, more than likely the maple syrup will probably need some now as well. But most importantly, the first thing we need to do is head down to our open garden and just top up the manure. So I actually think that has stopped producing now. That isn't actually doing anything because the manure was pretty low anyway. And I would imagine, I've just walked all the way down here and the tractor is back, isn't it? I've just walked past the tractor to walk down here, and I need the tractor. But yeah, it's not doing a great deal. I don't know when that stopped. It may have stopped in the last episode, I honestly don't know. But we need to do that first, so we will, rather than walk back, we'll jump over to the tractor. The good news is though, in the meantime, oh look at that, 909 litres. That's the most we've ever had build up in there. So we definitely need to do that. Potentially not too much. Oh dear, I forgot that I have abandoned this here. That doesn't look very good at all, does it? But at least the snow's gone. Oh dear, I've just left stuff everywhere. Right, we'll leave that truck there. We will jump back to that at some point because I want to see if I can delete those fences around that little bit of field there. Yeah, because if I can, then we'll create a little driveway and we'll have one of those interactive productions. I think would look quite good there. So we will try that in a bit. But first of all, I'll not get carried away and I'll try and do it in the order I planned. Just as we drive past as well, that is completely fully grown, ready to harvest. So that is something else we need to get on with. A question actually I was going to ask, I was meant to say at the end of the last episode, but what do we do now? So we've relied quite heavily on the silage and it's done so well for us. But do we call it quits now? Do we call it a day with the silage? Now that we've got the harvester and all the correct equipment to be doing harvesting, do we leave the silage go? Do we change that field to a crop? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't mind the silage because you make so much money out of it. But maybe we've moved past that now. Maybe we've moved past that. We could still use the fermenting silo. That's not a waste of money because we can still fully load that with straw to store the straw, as well as convert some of the straw into silage. So we'll still have silage to sell, just not anywhere near as much of it, I guess. But yeah, I'm not too sure what to do about that. One of the main reasons I'm asking, I am really surprised no one mentioned it. But I'm sure people have noticed it. I did my usual. I got carried away. I bought that really nice looking trailer, which is just over there to the left, connected to the Mac, and I love it. The trailer is great. It's got good capacity. What I didn't do was check that it actually held silage, and it doesn't, of course, because it's a grain trailer. So I'm actually going to have to backtrack and probably maybe sell it and buy the other trailer back that we sold, or throughout the course of the next year purchase that other trailer as well, so we have a couple. Or, you know, that other option, as we just mentioned, just give up the grass. Let's stop with the silage. Therefore I wouldn't need the trailer. Potentially. I don't know what to do. But if anyone's got any suggestions, I would appreciate it, as always. It's good. It gives me some guidance, gives me a little bit of inspiration whenever anyone comments. I read them all. I'm fortunate I'm able to read them all, because although I get loads and loads, I don't get too many that I can't keep up with them. But yeah, no, if you've got any ideas, maybe today it would be quite good if we can get a bit of that track done to make that more accessible. We could even maybe sell that bit of maple syrup that's there and landscape the trees and the ground around the back of it, because that kind of winds me up a little bit. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I won't dump this in the middle like I normally do, but I will just park it up over here. Let's have a look at maple syrup. I want to say it's right at the bottom. Yep. So 4,400 is its max price, which is in February. We are currently in April. To be fair, that's almost at its maximum price. It isn't actually that far off. So it might just be worth having a look at that. Maybe selling that in this episode. Not that we need the money hugely, but it might just be handy to sell it, just so that we can landscape this area. That would pay for the landscaping without going too far into our funds. Now, shop, not a great deal. I don't like that. I don't know if anyone's ever used it. I really don't like that. It's kind of it's wide. It's 9.7 meters, but it swaps everything to the right hand side. So you kind of have to go back on yourself after each run. I don't know. I don't like that kind of wind rower. I'd rather keep the rate that we've got, to be honest with you. It's not quite as wide, but it works pretty well. Okay, right. We're going to first kind of main job of the day is take this back to the yard along with the trailer, and then just connect up the mower, and we will just get a very quick cut on that grass. We might as well keep the progress going. This 89,000 is not going to last very long at all. In fact, the rate that I spend money, it probably won't last another 2 episodes maybe. But we keep that money safe. Potentially, you know, we could be looking at another small field as long as we don't go wasting it. Okay, good. So we're just on the home run now, heading back to the yard. So yeah, I'm just thinking. I was having a little think on the way up here. I think I might do just kind of maybe midway through this episode, a short little time lapse, just kind of like a yard expansion, I guess. I do want to sort out the area with the maple syrup. I do want to not put too much time into it, but I do want to spend just a little bit of money to do some painting for this area. So literally, as we're pulling in now, I want to create a track that kind of goes here, and it kind of goes along like that, almost like a lay-by. So I do want to do that. That would be quite cheap, I would have thought. I don't imagine that would cost very much at all. And then we'll head down to our new field and see if I can do a bit of landscaping just around that area as well. If I can delete that fence, that would be awesome. If you can't delete the fence, I kind of don't know why it's even a bit of land, to be honest, because it's a bit pointless. Whether or not I could raise the land around it so high that you could drive over the fence, maybe, I don't know. It's just a bit of a waste, really. Now, this trailer doesn't really fit in here that great, does it? Just about. Wow. No, not at all, actually. Not at all. We're going to have a bit of a tidy up, I think. Because I know I've abandoned stuff in the middle of this fence again. Where is the mower? Oh. Yeah, I've really got to have a tidy up. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this isn't good. I need to sort this out. Okay, great, it's all connected. So the mops have come around fast, because last time I said we won't be cutting this again. But we might as well, because it is fully grown. It's got those nice kind of brown tips on the top. And the pH value in the nitrogen is pretty good actually, so there will still be a decent yield out of this. I want to say that we got like 16,000 litres out of this. So I might as well do it. This will be the final cut. I'm sure of it. So we'll get straight into that. We'll then just quickly go around the other field. I'll probably time lapse it, but it honestly doesn't take that long at all to cut that field. And then, yeah, I don't know, we'll cross the other bridge when we come to it, but we'll see how we get on. Okie dokie. Job well done. So that, I mean, that in theory, that's the first cut of the year, isn't it? So April, first cut of the year. Not too bad. We should be able to get 2 or 3 cuts again out of that if it is grass that we decide to go with and keep. We'll have to see how we get on. But now, because I've left everything in such a state in here, I'm probably not going to be able to park this, but I'll try. I really need to sort myself out again, because this is just getting silly now. In actual fact, I don't think this is the shed for this kind of equipment. This would probably be a good shed for the harvester, and maybe the trailers. But it's not a very manoeuvrable shed, so it's not great for that kind of equipment. We're going to have to forward think and get something else, I think, in place. Okay, right, we're going to get straight on to raking. At least for the minute, we're just going to rake this kind of main area here, just so we can pick that up real quick, and then I can start to consider and think about where this track is going to go. But that is definitely something I would like to do today, because by the end of the episode I would feel like I've made an achievement if it's tidier. That's my kind of main goal for this episode, and we've got a huge, absolutely massive low loader with currently about half of a combine on it, as well as the header, which we need to get somewhere. We can't leave it in the middle of that kind of roadway coming in, so I need to get this track done. sort out the maple syrup area, sort out the Harry Potter style trees, and get this track into place. Okay, nice quick easy job. Literally took me 2 minutes. So we'll jump back into the beast of all the tractors and get this picked up very quickly with the forage wagon, which I think is that, yeah, that is the only thing that's kind of where it should be. Oh, I forget how slow this tractor is in reverse. Why is it so slow? Even the smaller tractor's faster than this. Come on. Yeah, so I don't know what to do about silage, about grain. All I know is, you know, I made a real blunder. Should not have sold that trailer, really. I got carried away. I like the look of the new one. Didn't even consider whether or not it actually picked up and kind of carried silage, but it was so obvious that it didn't. You know, it's kind of a grain hopper. You can tell by the way it unloads the grain out the bottom. That clearly isn't going to carry silage, so I don't know what I was doing, really. I just had a moment. But now I don't want to get rid of it, because look at it. It looks cool. It looks really cool. Alright, I don't think this is going to take very long. It's not worth the time lapse. So, just like normal, if I can think of something interesting to talk about, I won't skip it. If I can't think of anything interesting, I'll just jump it to when it's finished. Just thinking, actually, there is definitely something that's probably worth doing today, and that is buying the tanker, the water tanker, because that would make life so much easier for, wow, just for everything, for the greenhouses, for the pigs. I don't know if we'd be able to get it down that far, but we'll certainly give it a go. The maple syrup factory there, that production point, the other greenhouse or the open garden, it's got a 40,000 capacity. Now, 40,000 capacity compared to 3,200 capacity, it's going to save so much time. Yeah, it's a little bit more money, but actually I'm quite interested in building up a bit of a fleet of the max trailers, to be honest, or the semi trailers. I think it'd be quite good to have a little selection of those. So yeah, got to think about where we're going to be parking them all as well. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do, and I'm not even thinking about reseeding and fertilising and preparing our new field for its next harvest. I haven't even considered that. In fact, I don't think I'm going to consider that. That's not going to be something that happens today. I could have done with not parking that Mac right in the middle. That would have been a bit easier too. Okay, job done. Nice and quick. So I think now that we've cleared that area, we're going to stick the pallet forks onto the smaller John Deere, load up the pallets of maple syrup, and we will load them into the truck, because we need to pick that up and bring it back anyway. And we'll just use that. It's only 3 or 4 pallets, so we'll use that the way it's meant to be used and just sell them, and that will then fund our new track and making the maple syrup area look a little bit prettier. So that is our next challenge. Now, just find my way around. Definitely should start considering where I'm leaving stuff. Definitely. Okay, lovely. Right, that's all connected up. See how quickly that produced. Look, it's produced another 1,000 in that short time. Good. It's good to have a mid-year boost to money. Pigs, by the way. I know I've said it a few times, but honestly, I've changed my opinion of pigs. I've completely changed my opinion. These are actually a really good idea. In fact, what I'm thinking is, you know, now we're approaching. I think there's 11 in there. It might even be more now. We skipped a month. But what I'm thinking is, we need to make that bigger. we need to go for a bigger option. Jump into pigs actually, just while I'm thinking about it. We have got more. I'm sure we've got more. So yeah, we've got 13 pigs now. There's 2 more since the last time. This is just insane. So the oldest ones that we have are these ones here. £879 they're now worth. The value is still going up. In fact, that's not even the oldest one. These are the oldest ones. £925 these are now worth. So we've we're pretty close to gaining 100% profit on these because they cost us £525. So those pigs alone have pretty much doubled in value, and they've probably given us another 5 or 6 pigs between them. It's just incredible. It's easy money. It's long-term money, but it's easy money. You don't have to do a lot. I mean, look, the food's not even really gone down. Imagine if we had 50 of them. You wouldn't have to do anything else. You would not have to do a thing. Definitely worth doing. From now on, if anyone asks me, up until this series, honestly, I've never tried it, but they're actually really worth doing. Okay, right. We'll jump into the truck. We'll raise the snowplow. We're not going to need that for a little while, hopefully. We'll head on back to the farm. We need to give this a clean look and stay there. Sell the maple syrup. Be interesting to see how much money we make on that maple syrup actually, because we haven't really done a lot. All we've done is put some water in it. I think maybe a couple of tankers worth of water, and that was it. So yeah, I wonder. The pallets are deceiving. They don't even quite hold 300 litres per pallet, so there's not anywhere near as much there as what it kind of looks like at first. So, you know, probably say if there's 1,000 there, we'll probably make about £4,000. So, not a lot. Not a lot at all. Now, we will just go in and park the plough up in the garage, I think. As soon as it's a bit of equipment for the pickup truck, let's give it an actual spot to live in. Alright, we'll just open up our garage door. And yeah, it should tuck in quite nicely at the back, I think. If it fits. That is a good point. It doesn't fit. Well, that's a shame. It's a good idea. Sounded good. But no. Let's leave it here. Right, let's get this loaded up. Shouldn't take too long, as long as my driving isn't too dodgy. I do think maybe it is this tractor mod, by the way, because look, the forks have gone into this pallet as well. It does it for every pallet. Yeah, I think it's probably a bit of a bug in the mod. This is a mod. Obviously it's from Mod Hub because it's crossplay compatible, but it is a mod. I think I've said a couple of times I want to replace one of the tractors. I want to keep myself open because of the kind of three pieces of equipment limit that we've kind of challenged ourselves with. So I think this will be the tractor that we get rid of. Obviously the replacement will have to have the ability to take a front loader, but we do need to keep our eyes open for that. I thought maybe the 3 that were there or a 4th might appear, but another one's appeared. Not that I'm complaining. There's more appearing. Oh my gosh. This is a lot. Now, if I time this, if I position it correctly, can I get it 3 deep? I reckon so. We might not be able to lift the back hatch up, but I reckon we'll still be able to strap them in. We've only got to drive around the corner, it's not that far. Right, let's just take these for a minute. strap them in place. We'll just take these to the sell point. This will only take a minute or two. Wonderful, there we go. Right, 4,786, look at that, incredible. However, our environmental score is going down. That is because we've purchased a new field and we haven't actually bought the data, and I completely forgot about that, if I'm honest. So I have no idea how good that field is. In fact, let's jump in and purchase the data right now, because it may be better than we think, and we may get a little bit of an environmental bonus next time round. But it's only 39 according to that. So let's just soil information, can't be much surely. $1,487. pH is not great. Nitrogen is as red as it gets. Yeah, we've got a bit of work to do to look after our fields. We're not doing a very good job at all. It's a shame you can't buy this one little field on its own, because that would complete a nice little section there. I would quite like that. Yeah. Right. Okay. That is not a job for today. We can't be too worried about that. We're going to run out of time, to be honest. I haven't got time in this episode to be doing everything. So we know what we've got going now for the next few episodes. I'll tell you what I haven't done actually is check the shop for a while. Okay, no change. Waste the time that was. Right, let's get the rest of these loaded up. Okay, right, just loading in the last one. I've gone 3 deep this load, so it's going to be a bit of a dodgy load, but they almost fit him. It's not too bad. Let's park this up out of the way, because we'll jump into a bit of landscaping, and I will time lapse it. But this money is going to fund it. So we had 89,000 before. If we can sell this now and do the landscaping and still end up with around 89,000, then I'll be happy. But just like normal, depends how carried away I get, to be honest with you. I am going to have a good look. There's a few things that we do need in the yard. So I mentioned before we need the fuel tank because of my awful habit of running out. We also potentially might need a silo. Not too much of a rush, because obviously that trailer for the Mac that we've got is just insane. Its capacity is insane, and it also has 3 different sections for 3 different types of grain. So actually we could almost get away with three different harvests before we have to worry about a silo. So that's not urgent. But another thing that is kind of urgent from a realistic point of view is some sort of shed to put the Mac in and its long trailers. So we'll have to have a bit of a look and see what we want to do, I guess. But 99,409, so we made £10,000 for that small amount of maple syrup. Probably the easiest money we've made so far. But it's not going to go very far at all. So I'll probably time lapse this bit. Shouldn't be a very long time lapse, but until it's done, I'll see you in a mo. Okay, right, so I did my usual trick, got a little bit carried away, but here we are. Can you see the difference? We'll have a quick look around here and make sure this looks alright, because I've done most of this kind of blind, to be honest. It's quite difficult to landscape between this tree line as well. You can't really see what you're doing. So I was kind of guessing a little bit, but to be fair, it doesn't look too bad. Just put the odd bit of grass here and there and some bushes. I really hope this doesn't reset itself back to this kind of just plain texture with nothing on it. Part of me is kind of worried it might do, which would be annoying because we spent a little bit of money on that, but that certainly looks way better now anyway. That kind of puts my brain at ease ever so slightly. Then we've moved on to this section here, which I really like. So this obviously is not for ease. It is easier, but it's not for ease. I want it to look realistic, part of the landscape, kind of a little bit pretty. So that's what I've done. This is obviously our track for the Mac, which I think is plenty wide enough to get it in. And then this is our kind of storage shed, £5,000. It's come out of the money we had, which is why we're now down to 81,665. But £5,000 for that, it's a bargain. It's old, it's a bit beaten up, but that is good. That's where we're going to park the trailer to keep it out of the weather whilst it is full of grain. But also we can use that for various things. I mean, some of our equipment, potentially the harvester could go into there, if not into that one. It is just going to make things a lot easier. And then the main thing I wanted to do was just place the small fuel tanks, just 1,500 litres of fuel. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that is quite a bit. That's the equivalent to, I think, 10 of those barrels. And so far we've only used 3, maybe 4 of the barrels to get as far as we've got. So that's a decent amount, to be honest. That isn't bad. Now it's just taken me a little while because it is now 2. I'm just going to pop into the shop, see if there is anything there. Still nothing. Nothing at all. But I like it anyway. What do you think? It's not really a farm build episode. I'm just kind of adapting it as I'm going, really. So what I want to do now, first of all, now that we've got kind of something in place, is just start to tidy up this area a little bit. I'm not too sure how we're looking for time. We are probably not too far off. And this is one of those episodes where, you know, we're not carting backwards and forwards. We're not making hundreds of thousands of pounds. We are just literally improving the yard. I mean, we're spending the money we just worked so hard to get, I guess. That fits in there nicely. Right, so that can stay there. I think we'll pop the low loader in there as well, I think. But we're going to have to do something with the harvester. I wonder if the harvester will fit under whilst being on the low loader. We'll give it a go. Now, someone did comment, and it's just me being absolutely ridiculous, but you can actually make that trailer wider, apparently, and I actually did it without realising, apparently, and I definitely did it without realising, because even now I don't actually know how I did it. But we're going to have a bit of a fiddle, because I thought it was going to be an extra expense in the shop. Let's find out how I did this, and honestly I don't know. In fact, let's open up the menu. I think you're right. I think you can adjust it. However, by attaching a header to that front bracket, it seems to kind of overwrite any controls of the trailer. So we're going to have to take the header off and give that another go, I think. Because, yeah, I think you are right. Now, how are we going to do this? Okay, much wider than what I just tried, that is for sure. And I actually cannot tell if this will go under with the harvester the way it is. I'm not too sure. But this is definitely going to add a bit more of a challenge when it comes to doing our next harvest. So that would fit under, I think, if the harvester was flat. So let's just do it. Let's just see if we can get this leveled out properly. Now, we just want to head to... Yeah, that's right. Turn that around. Save some fuel, turn the engine off. Let's just see. I think when we undo this, it might even fall on us. Okay, that was hard work, but it's off. Let's see now if it will allow us to kind of make some amendments. Okay, I don't think it does, you know. I've tried everything. It does not seem to widen the width of the trailer, so maybe I read the comment not quite correctly. But yeah, it doesn't seem to allow you to do it. If I remember, it was actually an option when you buy the trailer to widen it. So that is currently back at the workshop, having some work done to it, along with the trailer. So we won't worry too much about that for a minute. But what we will do is just pull this back a little bit further. I'm not sure if it would have fit on the trailer anyway. I'm not sure. But for a minute, let's at least make sure it's under cover. Brilliant. Okay. Wow, that didn't take long to fill, did it? Jeez. Okay. Well, that's it, to be honest. I think we'll call it quits there for now. This should be a good sort of 40-45 minute episode again, which is amazing. Getting some decent lengths recorded now because we've got so much to do every episode. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. This is one of those kind of, I guess, side episodes where we don't really make a lot of traction, but we have made a lot of traction in a different way. And we've also spent quite a bit of money. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. So this is all accessible now. That looks quite nice. It's different. It's not kind of square and aligned. It's all odd shaped, a bit like myself. So I like it. This for me has been quite an enjoyable episode to record actually. So yeah, a couple of things to get on with next time round. We never did get the tanker to fill up the water, so we do need to look at that. I'm probably going to get a chainsaw, which, you know, is another £1,000, but we're going to have to take out these two trees here, I think, and just bring this track around because that is far too tight. I managed to do it, but it was too tight, so we'll get rid of those two. But yeah, to be honest, I think good episode, good traction. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and until the next time, cheers and gone.